The first in the race for 2026. I'm Melissa Carter, and this is ENN Now.
And I'm Jocelyn McKee. Attorney General Gettner Drummond is running for the governor in the 2026 race. Drummond was a lawyer for 30 years, and while he's only in his first term of Attorney General, Drummond has focused on government transparency and improving tribal relations. He also put together the office's first ever organized task force to handle the state's issue of illegal marijuana. Drummond has also strengthened prosecution for rape, child pornography, and fentanyl distribution. Other potential candidates for governor include State Superintendent Ryan Walters and former House Speaker Charles McCall.
The U.S. Justice Department says the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre can no longer be a criminal case. Renee Blair in our Tulsa borough has their reasons for the decision.
According to the Associated Press, the U.S. Justice Department says that the 100-year-old case could have been a criminal case a century ago, but there is not an avenue for a criminal case today. The Tulsa Race Massacre was one of the worst attacks in the U.S. history. As many as 300 people died and 1,200 homes and businesses were destroyed. The DOJ says that the perpetrators are long dead and the statute of limitations for civil rights charges expired decades ago. The Oklahoma Supreme Court also dismissed a lawsuit by survivors back in June. Reporting in Tulsa, I'm Renee Blair.
It is a new legislative season, and that means new proposed laws.
A proposed bill for the upcoming legislative session would ban homeless shelters using city resources outside of Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Senate Bill 484 was introduced and written by newly elected Senator Norman's Lisa Standridge. This bill would require cities with fewer than 300,000 people that operate homeless shelters to terminate the shelters. Many Oklahoma leaders who work with homeless people say that if it passes, it would be catastrophic. The bill would take effect November 1st as the 2025 legislative session starts February 3rd.
Another potentially impactful bill for the next session would prohibit cell phones in schools during class hours. For details, here's ENN's Harrison Favero.
Senate Bill 139 by Senator Ally Seafried of Claremore requires all school districts to adopt a policy prohibiting the use of cell phones by students from the beginning to the end of the school day. This policy, referred to as Bell to Bell, is aimed at reducing distractions and improving student engagement during school hours, Seafried said in a news release. The bill would also provide up to $2 million for middle and high schools to purchase devices or equipment for students to store their cell phones during the school day. Exceptions to the policy may include emergency use of cell phones and use by students who require them to monitor health issues.
The very popular social media platform, also known as TikTok, is set to shut down in the U.S. on January 19th, unless the U.S. Supreme Court stops it. Bella Buckner in Tulsa joins us with where the case stands.
In this next week, there could be steps taken to stop the ban. On Friday, the Supreme Court discussed the constitutionality of the federal law to require TikTok to shut down unless its Chinese parent company sells it by January 19th. The Supreme Court appeared to be divided during the 2-hour debate. Congress passed the law last year because of national security concerns. Opponents say the ban restricts free speech. President-elect Trump has told the Supreme Court to hold off on making this decision until he takes office January 20th. In Tulsa, I'm Bella Buckner.
The winning streak is snapped, but the team is still making records. ENN Sports Director J.J. Stinn has details in our sports report.
The OKC Thunder bounced back after the best record in the NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers snapped their 15-game win streak with 2 blowout wins against the Knicks and the Wizards. The Thunder do have a chance to claim the best record in the NBA, with the Cavs losing to the Pacers if the Thunder win the rematch on the 16th. Against the Wizards, the Thunder's MVP candidate SGA hit a career goal, notching 10K career points with over 9,000 of them being with OKC, and placing him about halfway from the franchise points record currently held by Russell Westbrook, and only 889 points from joining Kevin Durant and Russ as the only players in team history to have 10,000 points with the franchise. She also becomes only the 3rd Canadian with 10,000 points in his career. With conference play already starting, neither OU or OSU are doing too hot in their conferences. While the Sooners men started undefeated, including beating 2 top 25 teams, they've come to a halt in the SEC, losing 3 straight with 2 of the losses coming from top 10 teams. The Cowboys aren't doing any better than the Sooners, also having 3 conference losses, although the Pokes do have 1 win in the Big 12, but an overall worse record at 9-6. While the men's teams have not been good recently, both the women's have been great. They are both in the top 6 of their respective conferences, with the Pokes being 3rd and OU being 6th. While OSU isn't ranked, the Sooners women's are currently a top 10 team in the country. Each team has 3 or less losses, with OSU only having 1 conference loss and the Sooners having 2. Both teams also have top 20 wins, the Cowgirls beating number 17 West Virginia and the Sooners beating both number 15 Tennessee and number 20 Michigan.
A warmer week, but then winter is back. For details, here's ENN's Banning Lutzenberger.
Last weekend had a major winter storm, but don't think that winter has stopped with that storm. According to the National Weather Service, we will warm up to the 50s this week. This next weekend, expect a high of 38 and a low of 27 in Oklahoma City on Saturday, and a high of 30 and a low of 16 on Sunday in Oklahoma City. It currently is not known if there will be any snow, but with the weather being as low as 13 in some spots, there is a chance.
After a snowy week, there's plenty to do around Oklahoma as everyone heads back to school. Renee Collins in our Tulsa Bureau has all of the inside info.
Let's start right in Tulsa. At the BOK Center, the Tulsa Oilers hockey team is back this weekend playing against the Idaho Steelheads January 17th through 19th. At the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Oliver will be showing this weekend January 17th through 19th. At Kane's Ballroom, Treaty Oak Revival will perform on January 18th. At the Expo Square, Brahms' Affair of the Heart will happen Sunday, January 12th. In Oklahoma City, the OKC Blue will be at the Paycom Center on January 14th. Also at the Paycom, the Oklahoma City Thunder will play against the Cleveland Cavaliers on January 16th. On January 19th, they play against the Brooklyn Nets. The Oklahoma City Home and Garden Show will take place on January 16th and will run through the 18th. And that's everything on the calendar, so you can have an epic week.
That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to keep checking our website and social media pages for more news from our team of student journalists.